Great Rising YouTube. Great Rising Facebook. I done switched up the cameras. Yes, get your chair, get your weights, whatever wall you gonna walk to and from. Get your mats if you're gonna stretch out. Great risings, y'all. Great risings. Happy birthday, Joan. Happy birthday. Yes, indeed. I should say belated happy birthday. So happy to be walking. Happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Great risings, everybody. Happy birthday to Joan. Belated birthday, but happy birthday nonetheless. Let's get started, y'all. Come on for the walk, y'all. Come on for the walk. Come on in. I'll be on the YouTube streets. And them YouTubers, they have different ways to lure you in. Them some smart cookies, let me tell you. Anywho, while I was on the streets, okay, great risings. Hey, Diane, Mary, Janine, Janie. I have an issue. She spells it Jayne, and somehow in my head, anyway, great rises. Hey, Elle, Sylvia. Old Chocolate is still grieving at the passing of her father's. My sincere condolences. I'm a little late, but I get there. Hey, Canada. See, next year, I want to try to focus on events and stuff like that. But for now, we didn't make it to the end of the year. So I need to stay focused on that. All right, getting back to our talk. I was on the YouTube streets, and Blaine said that this month, Timothy Blaine, he's an author. I've listened to him for years. Y'all heard me mention him before. If y'all walk with me or listen to me when I talk. You know, you can just mute me. Just watch me move. And I stopped off at Blaine, that's what I call him. Blaine's Live, and I was listening to him. He said it's Domestic Violence Month. So now I did Neighbors. I produced a show called Neighbors. So we'll try to remember to put the link to Neighbors in the description. And then I can do that. So I was at Timothy's, and he said this month is Domestic Violence Month. And like I said, I did Neighbors, a whole lot of episodes that I'm going to put up on Neighbors TV, and I'll probably put on my Facebook page. And women, maybe some men too, I don't know, domestic violence cases where women beat up men who stay with them. Men usually don't stay. Women stay. Anyway, I've been wanting to say that for a long time to women. Your kids don't respect you when they have to sit there and watch you take a left hook. I remember, I'm trying to tell you, I love my stepmother. As a friend, I felt sorry for her. And me and my sperm donor, we got to know, not through conversation, just through that as a teenager, that's why I went down south, one of the reasons, because I had seen him punch her twice. And the next time I seen her punch her, my mother had just died. You introduced me to your wife as my mother. I'd just been traumatized. This is a 13-year-old kid. And then, out of nowhere, you haul off and you punch her. Now, as I told y'all, my mother told me and my sisters, though it didn't stay with them in their head, it stuck with me. She said, don't let a man put their hands on you. So, I love my stepmother, but I didn't have any respect for her. If I was in a situation that I was having with my husband or boyfriend, we had 5 minutes already, I knew she would always side with the husband or the boyfriends out of fear that if she didn't, the husband or boyfriend may go after me. That's what I'm thinking. Just the fact that she just never stood up for herself. She was telling me, that's the way they are. Put your hands out. As my sister said, she called them dumb. My stepmother called men dumb. And I said to myself, it had to be a few of those punches that land, because every time you're hitting the head, there is 2 hits, 3 hits. The fist hitting your skin, they say 3 accidents, 3 attacks. 3 attacks. His fist on your chin, his fist on the bones underneath the skin. And the fact that you're hitting the head, your brain rattles in your skull. See the 3? So that one punch, 3 layers, it fucks up 3 things. And I remember the first time he did it. I was throwing back. Now, listen, my mother used to fight. She used to get drunk. My mother was a drinker. My birth mother. She was a drinker. She would get drunk, and they would start fighting. And they came from Virginia, Smithfield. They would start fighting. Fighting. And it was just a free-for-all. Men, women, cats, dogs, kids if we was up, if not we was sleeping. And then the cops would come through, break everything up. And in the morning, as drunks do, it never happened. You could tell from the busted lips, or the knots on the heads, or the fact they limping, or they got choke marks around their neck. So, but for my stepmother, it was something different. You just never knew where it came from or what caused it. And I'm telling you, I know if racism was not in place, my sperm daughter would have been a totally different person. Something happened to that man having to stand in a army uniform from Washington to Charleston, South Carolina. That man that got on that bus in New York and that man that got off that bus in Charleston, South Carolina was totally different. That man that got off that bus, name was hate and rage and hate. Okay? Okay? He drove out of South Carolina. He never got back on the bus again. But that's no excuse. Then he joined the Elijah Muhammad Muslims. So that's another thing that condones domestic violence. A lot of religions condone it. She come from your rib so you can punch in her jaw because your rib made her. What? I gotta screw all of you. I gotta rape all of you because if I rape 3-4 women, I can get into heaven. What? 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 So to me, a lot of religions stamp the right for women to be abused. There was a time that I used to say, oh, I never did it. But I would think, let me contact Christian Mingles. Or if I saw a Christian group. And then one day it hit me and said, are you freaking kidding me? That book says it's okay to suppress you. You're nothing good but for sweating from the brow to make babies and cooking and scrubbing to take care of men. That's what that book says. If you date a man that understands that book, that's what he expects of you. He doesn't expect you to be strong, independent. No. He expects you to be obedient to him, subservient to him. After all, he gave you his rib. That's the least you can do, is kiss his ass. So, I just want to put it out there that religion and alcohol have a lot to do with domestic violence. But getting back to my point, women, you're not respected. My sister had a man throw alcohol on her, strike a match and throw it on and burn up. Her kids love her. But you can't really say respect. They know they're her mother, but they know if they get in a situation with a man, she ain't gonna stand up for him. She didn't stand up for herself. She knows she's not gonna go against him. She didn't go against him for herself. So though they are loved, they are not respected. Though they're loved, they're not respected. I couldn't say my stepmother had my back. Now my mother, I could say had my back. Because she thought I was the best of them, honey. Yes, if my mother was alive, if I would complain to her about any man, she'd the type to say, get up, get the bats, let's go over there and handle this. But my stepmother, no, her way of getting back saying men are stupid. Men are stupid. And I'm like, he just punched you in the face. I watched it 2 times. And though I say half sisters because they say, no, we're really sisters and brothers, but we never had an honest talk about living around that domestic violence. So we're not close. See, I came out and said stuff like that. I said, I told him, I said, the other reason I went down south because I had one more time to see Daddy punch Mommy and I was going to deal with him. They said, oh. That's what they said. Like they wasn't there. They said, oh. That's why they're obese. That's why they're mean. And when I tell you mean, the nice one is fat because he's eating it down. The mean one is fat because she's eating it down and she's mean. And then the other one is in good physical fitness shape, but he is mean. Mean, child. So I said, well, we can't get past anything if there's something like that that's so big. My brother ran away to me, to stay with me. when I was in my 20s. And I know what it was. My sperm donor probably hauled off and punched his mother. And he jumped up. And you know how the whole thing goes. And then he's running the streets. But I know what it is. But even in our late 50s and 60s, they can't talk about it. It's eating away at them. It's eating them up. We can't say, remember that time we had to jump daddy because he was hitting mommy? They'll never say that. Do you remember that time Sharon got so mad because daddy hit mommy that she got in it and then daddy took the iron, the cord from the iron and wrapped it around her neck and tried to choke her? And was hitting her with the iron? They don't want to talk about it. Didn't happen in their world. Did not happen in their world. Whew. Yes, y'all. So y'all see that's been like a burning topic for me. It is kind of like not as airy down here as I would like it to be. The air is kind of like thick, as you can tell, right? Anyway. I don't see no Facebook saying hi to me this morning. Hey, everybody, I know you're there. Talking domestic violence. I'm going to put up my neighbor's, I think our 5th episode had to do with domestic teen violence and domestic violence on the home. I didn't bring out, I like to say yes during domestic violence. Let's get this walk over with. So, I figured at this age, what are we afraid of? Let's talk about this horrible thing. Get the elephant out the room. And we could grow. And they never wanted to talk about it. I mean, they fought all the time. And then I went down south to my grandmother who took her daughter in, who was involved with a horrific domestic violence situation for years. For freaking years. And you came and you met 8 of the meanest, nastiest kids you ever. If it was today, everybody would be in counseling. But no one was in counseling. All they were able to do with their anger was to turn it on each other and any innocent, okay? They fought every day. But in a domestic violence household, if you're raised in it, you see fighting every day. Every day. I couldn't understand how they, see, my mother used to get drunk and fight. But that's usually at parties. It wasn't no random person coming in, kicking down the door, punching up. There was none of that stuff. Okay, she was a little violent. If she had a situation she didn't want to see and it was a man, and you was knocking at her door and she told you to go away, she would get hot water poured down on you. Anyway. She never got anybody, but they knew not to come back. But in a household where there's domestic violence, there is fighting every day. Every day. It is turmoil. Turmoil. Every day. There is no peace, no relaxation. The minute you like get a little comfortable, some shit will go off. And you know, it's adult language. So you don't know what passed through husband and wife. All you know is you see a fish flying, but What? And then everybody goes crazy and they start fighting each other. And then all the kids learn the only way to solve a problem is to fight and to argue. That's domestic violence. When you're trying to work on a project or do something with someone who has a background in domestic violence, it's very hard. They're used to the confusion, the anger, and everything. That's their process. They don't know peace, casual conversation, planning. You'll get to it, but you gotta get through the fighting first. I'm telling you, 8 cousins, they fought every day. Every day. If not my grandmother, with one another, any cousin that came to the house, any cousin that came to visit, that was it. It was a wrap. It was a fight. With my sisters, brothers from my sperm donor, fight all the time. Argue, 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 argue. Call the cops on each other. I'm trying to tell you. That's what they've seen. That's what they know. So I figured, we're all grown. Let's talk this out, because that's how when we were children. And that's how they were as adults. But I know I didn't fashion my life after that. My daughter knows peace, harmony every day. She don't know how you had to fight everybody. She don't know that. I didn't. No. I took care of that, and I wasn't fighting everybody every day. But when you was taken care of, you was taken care of. But I couldn't understand, like, when my stepmother died. Like, they took her and put her in Jersey, like, forever and away. And I always knew she wanted to go home back down south. It's my father who didn't want to go down south. So I didn't understand how she got in Jersey. But she was dismissed like she's always been dismissed. What she wants and everything. Because as long as she sat there and let him punch her from the table, sneak up and punch her in the head, or, punch in the nose, as long as the kids watch her stand there and do that, they dismissed all her wants and desires. She became irrelevant. And that's what domestic violence is. So you say, I'm going to stay with him for the kids. I'm going to stay with him for the kids. No, baby. They don't respect you. When they become an adult, they don't like you. They consider you to be extremely weak. And then you got the flip side, where they figure it's cool, so they want a man that can beat up on them too. Let's do some fingers while we're talking about this domestic violence. So, you ain't doing it for the kids, honey. Because the kids can't sleep at night. The kids are sick of hearing you arguing back and forth. I can't even... I remember the first time I saw my sperm donor, my biological father, punch his wife in the face. I'm 63. This happened when I was like 13 and a half, 14. I never forgot it. I remember like standing in shock, like, what the hell just happened? Oh my God, my mother's dead, and now I'm standing here. What is this? Does he go around and punch everybody like that? Ugh. He was the type, he would take us out in the car. We would be held hostage. And if we did kids things like laugh, talk, look out the window, play games, you know, like punch buggy, or you do license plate alphabet, he'd be screaming, shut up, shut up, shut up. And then we had this steering wheel lock. And if we kept playing, as he was driving down the highway, he would be reaching behind with the lock, trying to hit us with the lock. When we would go down south, he would try to make his time. He wanted to do it in 13 hours, 12 hours. I don't know, he had this thing with cousins and brothers and stuff where he could time, you know, cut his time in driving South Carolina in half. And we would be begging to go to the bathroom to pee. We would be, because he wanted to make the first 6 hours, because he could hold it. He don't understand why we can't hold our pee. He can hold it. He was in the military. And in the military, you had... And my stepmother would say, Elijah, if you just pull over and let the kids go. Now, I'm trying to... He had a place that he stopped for lunch. And that it literally, we would all have to get together and cry and whine, and my stepmom, and threaten to open the door and throw ourselves out the car for him to give us a bathroom break, which was pulling on the side of the road to let us go in the bushes and get bit up while we try to make a pee. So you see, we found out then that he didn't pull over for my stepmother nor for us. He did it when he was ready. But in a relationship where men and women are equal, when she said, honey, let's stop, the kids need to go to the bathroom, he was supposed to pull right into a place. But he looked at her and said no, and she knew if she didn't shut her goddamn mouth. So we were like, we got no help. There is no help from this man. Tuck in your elbows. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I married a man like my father. Tap to my elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I married a man like my father. The only difference was when he said something like one of these, or if I hit you just one time, and I said to him, you better not go to sleep. And I set up on him for 2 nights straight. He had to sleep with one eye open. He kept looking back at me. And we came to a truce. Don't threaten me. I wasn't like you women, I'm gonna leave you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna. I just said, don't go to sleep. And I sat up all night long and went to work and came home and sat up and took care of the baby. But I was gonna let him know. He had fallen asleep if I had seen those eyes closed, which means he stayed up for 2 nights. don't threaten me. Because you're not going to put your hands on me. Because I don't fight men. I'm a woman. I'm smart. When you close your eyes, when you wake up, Gabriel, disguised as Charlie Parker, will be blowing the horn, honey. Blowing the horn. So, you kids don't respect you when you stay in a relationship where they can watch you catch a right cross and an uppercut and to watch you be knocked across the room. They don't respect you. They don't think you can defend them or protect them.
Yes, indeed, I'm walking. Oh, yeah, just for me, I'm walking. Thank you for
So no,
money.
don't stay married and keep getting your ass whipped
I'm walking.
for the kids.
So happy
If you do
to
anything
be
for the kids,
walking. Happy
get your shit
to
together with
be
your mouth
walking.
closed. We'll talk about the mouth closed
Thank you
tomorrow.
for the company. I'm walking.
Whoo, child, let's quit
Yes,
walking.
indeed,
Over.
I'm walking. Oh, so happy to
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for the company.
Ha ha ha.
I'm walking. Yes, indeed, I'm walking. Oh, yes, indeed, I'm walking. Thank you for the company.
Yes, indeed, y'all.
I'm walking. So happy to be walking. Happy to be walking. Thank you for the company.
Whoo, child. As Tracy would say, I don't follow her on the YouTube streets no more. Hashtag Costco girl. Anyway, thanks for the walk, YouTube. Subscribe, hit the like button. Facebook, comment, like, and share. YouTube, you can share too. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for your support. See you tomorrow. Love you, love you, love you.